Hey guys, welcome back to DOK. I don't even know who's who in this match. Hold up, who are we supposed to be watching? 'Cause- who is this? Let's see. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, look. It's that match. It's Shrike versus Maze. It's Shrey's versus Mike, alright? And I don't know which one is which. Hold up, okay, we know this, we know this. This has got to be Maze. First off, because he's so Bond, but second, look at those colors. Okay, so who's that then? Bond, Vagabond, I like it. Homeworld 1 and 2 suck, DOK rules. DOK rules, Homeworld 1 is pretty cool, Homeworld 2 is trash. But, this is gonna be Shrike, alright? Alright, so this is Mike. And this here is Shrey's. Oh my gosh. Why has this become such a thing? Why am I incapable? It's only when these two play. I mean, to be fair, it's not only when these two play, but especially when these two play, I always mix them up. I don't know why. So they're just playing with me now. Look, that fits quite nicely actually into the space there above the carrier. Gotta say. This is the perfect length of name. Although you could tell when he Oh, it's like a little subversion, isn't it? So like when he starts the game, it says Homeworld 1 and 2 because you can see it on the menu, that's all that fits. And then you start and it says, they suck! DOK rules. It's cool. It's like... By the way, going 9 up, it looks like. A little bit of an interesting choice. But it is going to be an SC first build, which I think is very appropriate on the shallows. He's gone for Vagabond over here. Looks like Maze is going for Sport Cruiser first as well. Just going 6 up though. A little bit reserved, I would say. Probably can get away with a lot more than that. I recently made a video about this, you know, but that hadn't come out before this, so we can definitely forgive him for that. But generally in this matchup, we would expect Shrike to come out as the victor, but you never know. Things do change. However, Shrike, just kind of killing it, you know what I mean? It's getting better and better as time goes on. And definitely, I mean, Maze is getting better too, but I think Shrike still has the upper hand. I would expect him to take this series, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, probe. A little bit of jeopardy there. But I did get the important information before it went down. He saw that carrier move out. He knows what's going on. Didn't manage to catch tech. He died too quickly for that. It is going to be AAVs from both players. I think also a really wise choice. Very easy to follow up Sport Cruiser first with AAVs. Just be very safe. And Shrike here going to be filling up his bases first, which is not surprising, seeing as he's gone Sport Cruiser first, going 8 up. He actually went 9 up, didn't he? But that should give him the eco lead over a 6 up build, so he is a little bit ahead. In case you were wondering, in case you didn't think it was true in my build order video, look at this. I mean, you look at the stage now, we have Shrike with a salvager even on a long distance base. We still have Maze getting his main filled up, so it's definitely true that if you go 8 up, you get an advantage over someone who goes 6 up. What is that? What is that? What is that, Private Pilot? It's Power Reserve 2. Wow. That's very interesting. Shrike here going to be checking out the carrier. Going to see AAV tech open up if he's paying attention. That is the AAV module opening up there on the back. So he should know about that tech choice if he's paying attention there. Assault Cruiser is going to come out of Shrike. Whoa! He might be going for glory here. This kind of looks like the build that I did against Catharsis. He couldn't have known about that, could he? Maybe we both came up with it at the same time. Dead. No, I think it was against Catharsis. It was the first time that I had done it outside of like games with Roby, so like testing it. Couple of LAVs coming out here. If you do go Assault Cruiser first, especially if you're planning on building 2 of them at the same time, you're gonna have a really big RU float, or sorry, CU float. So good to spend those resources there. But just in general, he does have CUs, so I might as well spend them. But the way that he's saving up money makes me think, yeah, he actually is gonna go for it. We don't see any AAVs on the field, that's for sure. If this turns out to be Maze, by the way, I'm gonna be angry. You know, last time they did this, what they did was they didn't have like funky names like this. Just he called himself Maze and he called himself Shrike, and I was like, what the heck? Like, this is not how it happened on Battlefy. Like, they say that they're different or whatever, and then it turns out, you know, they've just like flipped names just to be funny. Assault Cruiser Fab is finished. Shrike, I think, a little bit low on CUs, actually, so maybe I take it back, but he is going to be able to make 2 of those pretty quickly if he wants to. Tardium Jammer being a little annoying there. AAV catching a couple of these LAVs out. But yeah, Shrike's stacking a lot of resources. I imagine he's got to be spending that soon. He just spent a lot there, didn't he? What happened? I feel like he just lost 400 CUs on... Oh, it's logistics modules. Okay, I guess he was pop-capped, actually. It is going to be double AC. Pretty efficient, actually, on the resources now that I look at it. Thing is, while these things are producing... And by the way, this turret is pretty ambitious because he's just sitting up here, like, right next to his carrier. No range in this carrier for Maze, so it's actually not getting killed, but... When we see Support Cruiser anti-air out, that's actually a good choice because Maze thinks that, well, I've only seen LAVs here, what's going on? He's probably going for air. Turns out he's not. But yeah, this is the thing. You end up floating a lot of resources while you do this, so usually the thing that I've done is I've gone for fighter and gunship off the back of it. Because you've got to spend them somehow, and it's not very obvious how. You can't produce anything. You could also tech into artillery, perhaps, because usually I want to get that later if we're going to do this kind of build. But no, he's just kind of letting the float stack up there. I don't usually appreciate that too much. Next thing to do, though, by the way, is to get a support cruiser here, because then you can fill up that 3rd base location. And you can always use the overcharge, by the way, to get into the field a little bit faster, because you won't be fighting people until about that area, so you don't actually lose the ability to use abilities. That's not weird, if you know what I mean. LAV Center have actually found their way up into the support cruiser, but they will be killed by that ALM. ALM's doing, like, actual damage, by the way, in patch, and this one's also very nicely deployed on high ground, although I think it's actually his starting ALM, so maybe I shouldn't be praising it too much. Carrier gonna come up here to deal with this as well. The Sport Cruiser is also there, which is... Whoa! 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 What's happening, dude? I don't even know. He teched missile battery, by the way. I noticed that now. Assault Cruisers headed up around the field now. There's no answer to these Assault Cruisers yet for Maze here. He could make some railguns, but he doesn't have them yet. He's not going to know that there are Assault Cruisers coming until right now. So now he knows. I imagine he's got to start making rails, but like... This is going to be difficult to deal with. We know what those... Oh, nice. We know what those Assault Cruisers are going to do when they get to the eco. I mean, it's going to be dead. So yeah, we do see railguns on the queue here, but I don't know. I don't think there's any stopping it. This is hitting a bit late, by the way. You can definitely do this before the 8-minute mark. I think when I did it against Catharsis, I was hitting around like 6 or maybe 5 even. But, oh yeah, it is fighter and gunship. Holy stack! Yeah, you gotta be, oh wow. 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 Overcharge is popped here, and then the Assault Cruiser is gonna pop up. Gotta think that's a bit of a mistake. Especially with the ALMs hitting you, overcharge makes very little difference for speed. And if you're trying to run up to these railguns, you're just gonna throw in there and die. Ooh. Ooh. Yes, that's the thing. So instead you use the attack missile barrage. And he got 1 salvager and lost 2 assault cruisers. Okay, so that's a good display of how not to use that unit. Oof. Ooh. What he should have done instead, he was here, like he was in range. So now you use the double attack missile barrage. It's gonna kill all the salvagers, and if you can get a read on where the support cruiser is, you can kill that too. So use this LAV to like come up here or something, catch where the support cruiser is, double attack missile barrage on top of it, boom, dead, and then just back away, right? And then you're out safe. What? Base runner inventory gonna get tech now. That's interesting. He's got the good wing that you use to take out support cruisers, 6 strike fighters in the hangar there, but he's not gonna be able to do it. What? Okay, hold. Shrike, man. I know you're a fan of unorthodox builds, but I think this is taking it a little bit too far. I know he's not doing the same thing, but still, it looks like it. Oh my gosh. Anyway, the problem is, there actually are 3 support cruisers with anti-air here, so... There's a very compact position, very unassailable by air. This is, you know, what you kind of expect to see from the shallows, I guess, but... Shrike not going to be able to attack that with his strike fighters, so they're going to be a little, not useless, but very, cooped up, I guess. But the thing is, he has got field control, and he's just made a whole bunch of base winners, so... Yeah, he's going to know about support cruiser anti-air pretty quickly here now. Just going to get out of there. Looks like he's even used the dock command. Might as well take out this probe on the way out, but I mean, that's kind of a small deal. Thing is, we know he's got field control, alright? Oh, don't put down an anti-air turret. You don't need that. You just saw your opponent's carrier. You should know he hasn't got air. Anyway, so his opponent is kind of cooped up now because he has air. So this is the perfect time to expose the base runners, grab artifacts, and get out. I wouldn't do this if I were you. But if you're gonna do it, you might as well, you know, do it the right way. Look how many CUs has got stacked up here. So he's definitely not gonna run out of that anytime soon. We got Maze making more sport cruisers. Just one more. I guess this guy was just kind of moving. No, he flipped them. Okay, that's actually a good move because this guy's damaged. He can heal him up here. And then flip him out there once he can get it cleared out and take that base. But yeah, I mean, what Shrike has got to do is go for artifacts. Okay, it looks like he's going to start going for artifacts here. It's a weird split. Wouldn't you like do it the other way? Like one anti-air turret and then one ground turret, one anti-air turret, one ground turret? I feel like that's just got to be better. Anyway, artillery also getting teched here, which is always a fun tech to see. He's not going to go for the far extract. He really should. He's going to want to have it. How many LAVs are we at now? Quite a few. I guess that's a... Yeah, I guess that's fair. So, the carrier is definitely unlocked here. He can run out and take out these turrets. That's why I'm really not a fan of this idea. I feel like Shrike is ahead in this game, but not by nearly as much as he wants to be. Is he even ahead? Hold on, let me check the resources here. No, he's not. See, I was thinking he was because he had a really big float from like the eco in the early game. But I definitely prefer Maze's army, and he's definitely got the resources too. And he's not doing silly things, so he's probably not going to die easily. Okay, look, this too. Shrike has got air, and his opponent is actually just kind of like throwing his units out, like away from air coverage. Whoa, that does a lot of damage. And then he's gonna be like, what the heck? There's two turrets here. Yeah, no, he's just kind of throwing this assault cruiser out there where there's no anti-air coverage, but he does manage to take it out, and he picked up that artifact too. I mean, I feel like Shrike is playing really sloppy here. He's got... Like, he had field control, and he just didn't use it at all. He's got air. He's finally using it now. But, like, the assault cruisers should have taken out the eco, but they didn't, and now look at this, he's just like, I don't even know what he's doing. So, it's a weird game, to say the least. There is a sport cruiser in the area now, so this strike fighter, you're just gotta be dead, right? Yeah, you'd rather imagine it would be. But I think the assault cruiser does die. Yeah, he is gonna come back in for the killing blow there, gonna dock, that'll be completely okay. This guy getting a lot of veterancy for it, too. But yeah, I mean, Maze has got a sport cruiser with his carrier now, right? So he should just, like, run out there, it's like, no fear, clear out all these turrets with his carrier, and he's got the better army. Actually, artillery is going to be pretty dangerous here, but it's just weird, kind of, what Shrike is doing, and I feel like it gives Maze an opportunity to definitely take this game if he wants to. It's a closing one, though. It's not very big, so he needs to get out there fast, and I don't see any signs that he is. So I'm a little worried about that, but... Oh, and the LAV is actually finding a pretty big opening here. Didn't expect that. Yeah, there's just no strikecraft coverage. That's a nice starting image over there, but I would have saved it for when he's attacking the sport cruiser. That's probably that's the time that he's gonna be microing the worst. Although, holy moly, these ALMs are actually doing a lot of damage. Normally I fault Maze on his ALM spam, but like this time it seems to be working for him. Holy, that's a lot of ALMs. 7 of them over in that area. That's crazy, man. So Shrike's got 4 artillery cruisers here. And a lot of turrets. I still don't really know what's up with that. Oh gosh, what are you... Holy moly. What was the smoke? Oh, it's artillery. You know what? We could turn this into a tower defense game if we wanted to. In which case, it's definitely Shrike who's winning. He's got the artillery, so he's got indirect fire against his opponent's, you know, towers, right? And his base runners here can just keep setting down these ground turrets that are more and more powerful than the ALMs are. Artillery cruiser really out of position here. There's no scouting though, so it's not going to get punished for it, but that could have been a dead artillery cruiser. These BCs, though, they're not going to give a flying crap about any of these turrets. That assault cruiser might, actually, but... Are you just, like, setting down a turret over there? What is this madness? The thing is, though, battlecruisers are not good against artillery. That's what they have trouble with. But I've found in games with A-game that if you get enough support cruisers, he's able to kind of negate that problem. But the reason is because they're too slow. The indirect fire from the artillery is actually enough to kill them. The thing is, these ALMs are really slow. The indirect fire is definitely enough to kill them. So we're having... Like, we're gonna have a bad time if we ALM spam. That's my point. And Maze just, continuing to do old, you know, Maze things. He's gonna continue to ALM spam over here. That's not good. He's just gonna lose all his money that way. You're also gonna lose your money by probe spamming, especially if there's a support cruiser just take him out. Anyway, yeah, this is just the weirdest game, man. I don't even know. Like, this LAV counterattack apparently can't do anything because of ALMs either. It's just weird. I don't know what's going on. These guys should use Mark Target probably too, by the way. More ALMs, that'll solve your problems. I mean, the funny thing is, in this case, it kind of will, but it shouldn't. It's getting real loud over here. It's just noise everywhere. May's kind of getting repelled, though. He can't totally just stay out there. His opponent kind of keeping it a little honest, but I gotta feel Shrike is not really making progress here, is he? In fact, these turrets are getting weeded out a little bit. But Maze, I think, just needs more support cruisers or something. This guy, for instance, very much not fueled up at all. Oh, this is going to be some nasty barrages as well. The support cruisers are weak. They're vulnerable. So you got to keep them alive. I think pushing them out with the assault cruisers here was a bad idea because the turrets can kill them, you know? Yeah, and putting ALMs in front of turrets is really bad. That doesn't work. This is also questionable. Oh no, this one was out there earlier. Actually, it's doing a lot of damage. It's gonna get a kill there. Yeah, look at that. Weird game. Super weird. Okay, how many... Like, the amount of ALMs he spammed here, he could have like 8 support cruisers like chilling out around the map, alright? I would much prefer that. However, the ALMs are going to start finding the artillery now if he looks for it. Just going to stun that one. Should mean the death of it, right? You got to figure. Especially if these things can catch up to the artillery cruisers, they can use the tac missile barrage and there's not... Ooh, those are some bunched up units. Ooh, that just looks tasty for artillery, man. Anyway, the tac missile barrage should be able to kill them off in one hit. And you gotta figure there's no way to dodge that with artillery cruisers. They're like the most washing machine unit in DOK. Strike fighters pretty much all died there. I'm not sure exactly how much they got. Looks like Shrike gonna resort to some railgun spam here. Getting the upgrades for it as well. He's already got, what's it called? I'm not sure. Mag Accelerator, there we go. He's already got that. He's got Armor 1 now as well. Looks like before getting more armor upgrades, he's gonna go for his power reserves. It's really sad to see that he threw the artillery away, though. If he had just had this army with the artillery, I mean, it would be game over already. Especially because Maze's primary defense, apparently, is these ALMs, which, as we know, they do not stack up against artillery. And he really should be on, like, 4 artifacts at least here. Like, I'm amazed he's not already winning on artifact extraction. So, I don't like it. I don't like what he's been doing, but, hey, to each their own, right? Probably wants to get heavy vehicles, too, I'd say. But he might go for Power Reserve 3 instead. That'd also be a fine choice. But yeah, it's weird sounding because you know that battlecruisers are basically like big railguns for Soban, but actually railguns are the counter to battlecruisers because they're less effective per cost than railguns are, so you can take those fights. Well, what, not per cost actually, but I think per build time they are. Yeah, so these railguns are actually going to have a pretty good time. They're just going to hammer through the battlecruisers there. And then assault cruisers are not going to put up much resistance. Smoke actually doesn't work here because the artillery either. Precision barrage can be used once they smoke up, and that's going to just kill them really fast. And so this is going to be bad times for Maze. Although one of the assault cruisers gets through actually, but he gets taken down pretty quickly. And then the carrier can deal with the ALM spam too. You know, as usual, it's not going to do any good. So Maze is now on like pretty much full route here, so that's going to be really bad for him. Targeting jammer deployed on the carrier. Targeting jammers don't actually affect carriers, so that's also a bit of a waste. And now I gotta say, one thing that Soban had a really big advantage in is when they push out and then they retreat, and the enemy thinks that they're routing them, but ALMs are instead kind of like holding them back. But I don't think that's going to happen in this case. That has to happen organically. You can't force it by ALM spamming, really. The army just kind of getting picked apart here now. Shrike's army getting pretty small too. I'll agree with that, but it's still definitely superior here. You gotta imagine too, if all the power that was in the carrier was in weapons, it'd be doing a lot better in this fight. But, I don't know. And it looks like Shrike just gonna smash through his opponent's carrier, and that should be GG right there. Yeah, that's gonna be a game. Super weird game, guys. What are you two doing at this point? Just like the transition into mass base runner is weird. That shouldn't be done. Doesn't work. The artillery was actually good, but it needed to be paired with that railgun army, and then it would have been really powerful. But well, you know, to each their own. Like I said, Shrike will take the game, so I guess it worked for him. And we'll move on to game 2 in the series. Game 1 should have been picked by Shrike. Yeah, I think he was seed 1 in that group. So game 2 gonna be picked by Maze. Had to make sure I didn't say the wrong one. Had to make sure. Shrike, by the way, changing his name here now again. The one with the. No, it's gonna be bigger. We just can't see it yet. I assume it says strategies, but it's getting clipped off there. I'm not sure why. D's trolls. Well, I have a feeling that with a name like that, he's gonna pull off something weird. You can see targeting jammer immediately deployed on the salvagers there. You know why that's happening, right? It's because of blast drones, but actually the base runner is being retired here. And in proper fashion, because Shrike clearly knows what he's doing, he pops the smoke before he retires it. Everyone who really mains ConF knows to do that when you're retiring a base runner. Why? For style, of course. LAV Fab comes out first for Maze, that's no surprise. Pretty much his standard opener, although he tends not to really get too much value out of that. So I'm hoping to see some good plays from him this game. Still no tech from Shrike, although he actually got the Sandstormer Fab, didn't he? Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I don't really like that too much. Because he hasn't made any yet, right? Thing is, in the early game, CUs go a really long way. Like, he should already have Refiner Mode on the way. Because if he's not attacking, which he clearly isn't, he's not making a production cruiser, he needs to go eco first. So, yeah, this is very late. What's going on from Maze, by the way? 10 up? I think it is. That'll happen when you go LAV Fab first and then don't make any. So they're kind of mirroring each other in that regard. Come on, Shrike. I need you to be one of the best players in the game because you're fun to watch. Stop going Sandskimmer first if you're not going to make any. And you too, Maze. AV Fab comes out now for Maze. Yeah, I probably should just have a support cruiser over on this base right now, but that's okay though. Rail Fab gonna be the choice now for Shrike. Using that mobility support nicely. That's one of the smallest of advantages, but hey, get everything out that you can. But Refiner Mode finishes, he's gonna move the production cruiser into position, and he's on 2 base first. Amazingly. Amazingly? Oh. Probe's out there chilling. Probably ought to hop in right about now, see if he can figure out what the tech choice is. But I think this probe saw the second base, I think. I'm not sure, though. Power reserves? Are you mad? Power reserves? What? I mean, what does that do for you? I'm squinting. You can't tell, but I'm squinting. I mean, it's kind of like mag accelerator, right? Where it ups the damage of railguns, but if railguns aren't shooting, that it does nothing, right? So when you get mag accelerator, it's usually like the cue that you're about to fight somebody, because you don't want to spend the money for that unless you're about to use the railguns. I feel like that's how power reserves are. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be teching them unless you're in a defense scenario, right? Where, okay, now we need the carrier to do some power, do some damage, sorry. Or if you're like in excuse me, my throat's very clogged apparently. Or if you're like about to move out with the carrier and make like a power play, you know, you need it to do damage. Or if you're just moving into the late game, it's time to get power reserves so that your carrier is a weapon, you know. But this is the wrong time for that. You don't need it. And May's always quite paranoid about air. He is going to get anti-air now. Doesn't need it. I mean, you can see rails here. Like, the chance that your opponent goes rails and then goes air immediately after is, like, astronomically low. So I would never bother with anti-air in this scenario, but... Damage 1 finishing right about when these guys are going to hit, which is really nice. He's going to be expecting the carry here, but doesn't see a support cruiser either, so... I mean, that already should be a cue for Shrike that he's, like, way ahead. Missile batteries and support cruiser anti-air. You mad lad. Yeah, that's definitely not going to help Maze in this fight in the slightest, I don't think. Jeez. Sorry about that. I need to drink more. Not like alcohol, but I'm a little bit dehydrated right now, I think. I feel that in my throat. I have a bad throat, actually, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure what it is about it, but it's been this way for like a long time now. Damage 2 coming out for Shrike, by the way. He's got damage 1 already. Salvager's getting killed here. May's moving his carrier off of the eco, so he's committing suicide again. You don't like to see it. This is a bad move. Bad. Bad. You want that carrier on the base at all times, unless there's a really compelling reason to move him off, so... Sand Skimmers will get swatted away here finally, but they did their damage already. Thing is, the damage, I guess, was really just done by Maze here. He's teching anti-air that he doesn't need, he's teching power reserves that he doesn't use, he's teching AAVs, which he hasn't built one of, and the support cruiser is just now coming out. So, it's really suspect play from Maze here. These guys just, leave us alone, please! But I don't think they're gonna get that lucky. This is a good move, though. If you can do anything to hurt your opponent, you should do it. Psychological warfare, even. No. But if you can just waste a little bit of time on those LAVs when they can't be out on the field, then go ahead, do it. Gives you time to build up a little Sand Skimmer force that should help to protect against them. Oh my gosh, Maze! Look, okay, if your opponent has air, get anti-air. But, like... Oh... Holy moly. That's a lot of anti-air. I mean, wow. Oh gosh. Railfab coming out now for Vagabond. This LAV force is still a little scary, but I think Shrike should be able to deal with it, probably. What are the numbers here? Yeah, he's almost got the same number. And they definitely have the upgrade advantage here. ALM's typically good against railguns, but I think this one, again, is just kind of spammed, but... he's getting a bit lucky in that the assault railguns cannot see it, apparently. It's actually over a dune, you know. This is a weird bug with the ALM, I still think, that it's just like, it thinks that it's a lot shorter than it really is. I don't know, I think Agan tried to address it, actually, but we couldn't do it because subsystem doesn't allow it just yet, or something like that, but I guess we'll see. Production cruiser pulled off there. Probably doesn't need that. But yeah, Shrike has got this one in the bag. I mean, like, there's no way he could lose from this point unless he really threw, because his opponent still is on one base. And I feel like all he needs to do, Shrike, is just get a whole bunch of assault railguns, really, and that's going to be game over. Of course, that's a very me way to play, though, so I mean, I am kind of projecting. Getting a whole bunch of sandskimmers, though, that'll do it, too. You see, he's going to win this fight as well if he can ever catch up with these guys, which looks like he can. Assault Pack, I think, is about to finish, though. You can give them a little boost away here, but it's probably too late. So the LED blob is going to go down, too. And, oh. What happened? Wait, what? What? The replay just ended. Let's check Battlefy and find out who wins. But I'm almost certain, almost certain it's gonna be Shrike here. Yeah. I don't know. I guess the replay is just done. Maybe someone Alt F4 or something like that. I don't know. Group stage D. Sorry. It is Shrike. 2-0 is Maze. Yeah. Weird stuff, dude. I gotta say, like, this is just a. Oh no, we soft blocked. Yeah, I'm gonna have to restart my game for this. Because it's paused here, and leaving the game is actually a command, which, as you can see by the units not moving, commands don't play while the game is paused, and so it doesn't know what to do. So, that's funny. But yeah, I don't know, just really weird play, dude. Like, questionable. And I mean, you might think, like, maybe Shrike just feels he's got this in the bag, he can kind of play around, but, like, that's not true. Like, he actually could have lost game one pretty easily. And beyond that, too, you know, you gotta remember, like, the more you play a certain way in your, like, practice games or in your, like, you know, early tournament games, group stage, whatever, the more you're going to do that in actual matches, right? This kind of game doesn't have really any, or not this kind of game, because this game is playing pretty normal. But, like, the base runner stuff doesn't really let you practice at all. It's funny, though, so I kind of like it. But I also don't like it. Anyway, I hope you guys liked it, and I'll catch you next time.